Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramartanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Rajavidya, Rajaguhya Yoga, 9th Adhyay, and today we are going to read the 15th Shloka. And Sri Krishna is telling us about how the learned ones, the illumined souls, the jnani, the bhaktas, and the mahatmans, how they recognize the divinity of the Lord. In the previous two shlokas, the 11th and 12th that we read, Sri Krishna told us about the ignorant people, about people who are driven by their rajasic tendencies or tamasic tendencies, the rakshasas or asuras, how they fail to understand the divinity in the incarnation or in a human being as such. They consider an incarnation to be just another human being like them. They don't pay any respect, and being driven by that rajas and by the tamas, they live their lives in vain hopes, vain actions, vain activities, and the vain knowledge. So that is how the ignorant ones, they lead their life not realizing the divine nature of the Lord which dwells within all the beings. Forget about the incarnation. Incarnation, they don't have any clue at all. But even they don't have any respect for divinity within the bodies of these beings. But Sri Krishna said in the previous verse that we read, the 14th verse that we read, 14th verse that we read, 13th and 14th, Sri Krishna told us about how these Mahatmans, how they adore the divinity. They understand the divinity, the divine dwelling in these beings, and with great one-pointed devotion, they just surrender themselves at the holy feet of the Lord, knowing fully well that the Lord is the basis for all these beings. He is the bhutadi avyayam. That was in the 13th shloka. The last shloka that we read, the 14th shloka, now Sri Krishna actually tells us the ways in which these people, they exhibit their devotion, they exhibit their knowledge that they have earned on this path of devotion, on this path of karma, and how they behave. Like, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dhrudhavrataha. With a steady mind, with firm conviction, having firmly established in my divinity. Satatam kirtayanto. They are constantly, singing the glories of me. They are singing the divine glories. Satatam kirtayantaha. Mam yatantascha dhrudhavrataha. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upāsate. And totally surrendering me by way of prostrations, the Sashtanga Dandavat. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upāsate. With firmly established devotion and shraddha and bhakti, they keep on worshipping me. Nityayukta upāsate. They worship me with ever steadfast devotion. That is the trait of these devotees, these bhaktas, these the jnanis for that matter, those who are on the path of realization. So that was the 14th shlok, and today in the 15th shlok again Sri Krishna is going to tell us how in very different ways these bhaktas, these jnanis, these karma yogis, these yogis for that matter, they keep on worshipping the Lord through various ways. Each one may have his or her own way of worshipping the Lord, but with steadfast devotion, with nityayukta. Being nityayukta, ever steadfast, they keep on worshipping the Lord, possibly in the manner in which they have understood. So Sri Krishna says, jñāna-yajñena chāpyanye yajanto mam upāsate ekatvena pṛithaktvena bahudhā viśhvato-mukham. Varied are the means by which these people they express their devotion towards me. Varied are the ways by which these variety of devotees they worship me, and each worship comes to me. That is what Sri Krishna says. Jnāna-yajñena chāpyanye, with the sacrifice of knowledge. Jnāna-yajñena, with the wisdom-oriented sacrifice. It is not sacrifice like the ritualistic sacrifice where people are sitting and uttering mantras and offering oblations, but the sacrifice wisdom-based. Jnāna-yajñena. Jnāna-yajñena cha api anye yajanto mam upāsate. And even others, api anye yajanto mam upāsate. Through knowledge-oriented sacrificial acts, giving up attitude, that the renunciation. So jñāna-yajñena, or maybe some other way of sacrifice. Anye yajanto mam upāsate. Their objective is to worship me. I am being worshipped, whether it is through the sacrifice, knowledge-oriented sacrifice, wisdom-oriented sacrifice, or any other way of renunciation, any other way of sacrifice. Ekatvena, pṛithaktvena, bahudhā, viśhvato-mukham. Ekatvena is focusing on one aspect of mind, or pṛithaktvena, or in various aspects of mind, worshipping me as one entity, or worshipping me as another entity, as pṛthak, something different from the devotee. Some devotees may feel that me and Lord are the one. Let me worship the Lord in that manner. Ekatvena, monism, the Advaita. Or it could be pṛithaktvena. Pṛithaktvena is Dvaita. That let me be the servant of the Lord and let Lord be the master. Let me be the devotee of the Lord. Let Lord be the Lord. Let me be the child of mother. Let Lord be the mother. The Dvaita aspect, pṛithaktvena, bahudhā, or many people, they will worship me viśhvato-mukham. They will worship me as all-faced, one entity, but all these faces are, all these beings, they are dwelling, they are part and parcel of the same Lord, of the same divine principle, the that comes as Vishishtadvaita, the qualified monism. So Sri Krishna says, various are the ways by which these learned people, these Mahatmans, these illumined souls, they worship me. Various ways. It could be either a wisdom-oriented sacrifice, knowledge-oriented sacrifice, or the ritualistic sacrifice. Why not? They may worship me as the one entity, as one with them. They may worship me as the Lord is different, I am different. Let me worship the Lord in that spirit. Or they may worship me as all the manifold faces, all these beings, they are nothing but manifold faces of the one reality. They are the manifold projections of the one reality. Let them worship like that. So Sri Krishna says, various are the ways. Yet others sacrifice with the yajna of knowledge and worship me in various ways as the one, as the distinct, and as the all-faced. So that is how the realized souls, they have their different ways of worshipping the Lord. Worshipping the Lord as one undivided pure consciousness is the way of Advaita, non-dualism, monism. There is no second. There is only one entity, and I am that entity. That is the stage when the devotees, when the yogis, they proclaim Aham Brahmosmi. That is the stage, Soham. That is the stage they get into. That me and my Lord are one. Or adoring the Almighty as the distinct, as pṛthak, is the way of Dvaita. The moment a devotee feels Lord to be pṛthak, Lord to be different from me, an element of Dvaita sets in. I am the devotee and he is the Lord. I am the child, she is the mother. That kind of relationship, the strong relationship of me and my own. Whosoever it may be master, it may be friend, it may be mother, it may be the Lord himself. So, but there is a distinct difference between me as a devotee, me as a worshipper, and the Lord. That is the Dvaita aspect. He is held as distinct from the Jagat and the Jivatman. The universe and the beings, both of these categories being dependent on him. Now this entire creation, for that kind of worshipper, for that kind of a devotee, the Dvaita, this entire creation, all these Jivatmas, they depend on that Almighty Lord. Because that element of distinction has come. Lord is different, I am different. Let me worship, let me have that ananda, let me have that enjoyment, let me have that bliss of singing his glories. Kirtayante, that's what Sri Krishna told. Singing the glories of the Lord. Let the devotees do it. And then invoking Ishvara as the all-faced, the viśhvato-mukham, is the way of Vishishtadvaita, the qualified non-dualism. It is a non-dualism, but it has certain qualification to it. I am a part of the great. I don't say I am he. I don't say soham. But he is not distinct from me. I am just a part and parcel of that great entity, that great Lord. So that is Vishishtadvaita as viśhvato-mukham. So Sri Krishna says, people, they worship me as ekatvena. People, they worship me as pṛthak. Or people worship me as viśhvato-mukham. The universe and the beings in it are all the insentient and sentient aspects of the body of the Lord. So if for a Vishishtadvaiti who worships Lord as viśhvato-mukham, Maybe Lord is the body. I am his hand, I am his little finger, I am his eye, I am his nose, I am his mouth. But I am a part and parcel of this body. So that is the kind of awareness, that is the kind of understanding the Vishishtadvaiti devotees, they have for the Lord and for themselves. In whatever way the Lord is worshipped, it is acceptable to him. And Sri Krishna says, yes, these are all the different ways. Nothing, he hasn't said anything wrong with one aspect and another aspect. He has never said that. He never said that only devotees who worship me with the ekatvena are superior, or people who worship me as in the mode of dvaita, pṛithaktvena, are superior. No. Or he doesn't say that devotees who worship me as viśhvato-mukham, as the Vishishtadvaitis, they are superior or inferior. No, Lord says all are same to me, because ultimately they are all worshipping me, whichever form may be, whether it is mono, whether it is distinct, or whether it is all in one. So that is what Sri Krishna indicates in this 15th shloka. He tells us frankly in this 15th shloka, I may be worshipped in so many ways, and there are different ways of worshipping me, and which those ways are, that also Sri Krishna has beautifully explained. In whatever way the Lord is worshipped, it is acceptable to him. These several ways of understanding the Lord by the devotees are all their respective jñāna-yajñas. Now, whichever attitude the devotee develops for worshipping the Lord, whether it is dvaita, whether it is advaita, whether it is vishishtadvaita, that depends on his evolution on that path of knowledge, and that is how his jñāna-yajña starts. That's why Sri Krishna says, starts this shloka with jñāna-yajñena chāpyanye yajanto upāsate. There are so many ways of worshipping me, starting with the jñāna-yajña. And this is how, as the devotee gets enlightened on this path of liberation, on this path of illumination, he gains the knowledge. Initially, he may think he is distinct from the Lord. Then he may get into the stage where he feels he is part and parcel of the Lord. And then a stage comes when his level of knowledge, it goes to such an extent that devotee feels me and my Lord are one. There is no difference, there is no distinction, there is no separateness between me and my Lord. So that is what Sri Krishna tells us here about the various forms of the jñāna-yajñas. Now, very interesting, Sri Ramakrishna's teaching, which exactly goes as per this teaching of Sri Krishna in the 15th shloka. Sri Ramakrishna says, whatever be your concept of God, be it with form or formless, hold fast to it and ardently worship him. Sri Ramakrishna says, whether you are worshipping, whether you like God with form or without form, it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter to God, but it should be an ardent worship. It should be that nitya yukta, always established bhakti. It should be that dhrudavrataha. With that firm conviction, with that firm understanding, start worshipping the Lord whichever way you want. You want to worship God with form? Do it happily. You want to worship the formless God? Do it happily. God has got nothing to say about it. God will accept whichever way you worship him or her. But be not conceited that your concept alone of him is the finale. Never think whichever method you are adopting, only that method is the right method. All other methods are wrong. Never have that kind of wrong notions in your mind. If you get that wrong notion, then it will be something like what Sri Krishna says of mogha jnana, the vain knowledge. Never have the concept, never have this understanding, never have this belief that only my path is true. If you are following the path of God with form, worshipping God with form, fine. That doesn't mean worshipping the formless aspect of the God is deceitful. No. So Sri Ramakrishna very categorically says that in the course of your sadhana, you will come to know by His grace that His attributes and forms are inexhaustible. He will make us understand. He will make us realize whichever form one worships the Lord, one worships his or her chosen deity, that the Lord is going to accept, and that is nothing is wrong in that. So that was the 15th shloka of how the jnanis, the bhaktas with the jnāna-yajñena, they worship the Lord in various manners, whether in Advaitic mode or the Dvaita philosophy or the Vishishtadvaita mode. They have their own ways of worshipping, which Lord accepts. See the magnanimity of the Lord. See the broadest heart of the Lord. He accepts all types of worships and He has no qualms over it. So that was Sri Krishna's teaching to us in the 15th shloka of the Rajavidya, Rajaguhya Yoga, the sovereign science and the kingly secret. So this is one of that secret which Sri Krishna has revealed to us today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.